Coach, obviously not the way you imagined or anticipated this series going. When you look back on it, what do you think was the biggest contributor to that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think each game stands on its own. It's game one. Both game one and two was one possession game with a couple minutes to go. Could have gone either way. They made the plays. Um, Obviously the blowout in game three was, we were just totally outplayed. And tonight I thought showed a lot of fight. So um, it was kind of an uneven series in that at times we struggled to score. Sometimes, like a game like tonight, we found lots of scoring. Games 1 and 2, we had 59 points in each half, in one of the halves of both games. So I don't know. The hats off to New Orleans. They played really well. Their stars really put on a show tonight. They had different people step up at different times, and so I don't know. I think there's a lot that went into this series.
I'll ask another. Coach, one of the things that it seemed like was a trend throughout the whole series was Dame just not getting loose, not getting the shots that he normally gets. What do you think, looking at New Orleans' defense, how were they able to do that?
Well, it's pretty obvious. They were running people at them, trapping them any chance they had. It was difficult. I mean, they made them a priority, and they made it very difficult for them. But in the end, we were still. I mean, a game like tonight where we score 123. It's a team game, and certainly, they made Dame the priority.
I'm sure other teams have made him a priority before. Was there something unique about their personnel that allowed them to pull this off?
Well, I think they have Moore and Rondo and Holiday are very good guards, and they really committed to it. I think it's hard. It's difficult to play that every game for 82 games, and but when you can lock in a series and make that the focal point every night. Now, whether they do that next round or not, who knows? But that's what makes the playoffs unique. You do have the rest. You do have a chance to really commit to something.
Speaking of the next series, not to analyze the Pelicans too much, but how, in your opinion, how good is this team? Are they hot at the right time? Are they peaking at the right time?
I mean, they're playing really well. There's no question. I mean, they played well last half of the season. They played very well. And I thought against us, as I said, they had different players play well different nights. They had timely shooting. And, they're a challenge. It'll be interesting whoever they play in the next round, how they match up, and at both ends, defensively and offensively.
Gentry spoke to how great of an anchor Mirotic was defensively, especially against your backcourt. From what you could see, was he a big piece in being able to defend Lillard and McCollum?
Yeah, he was. I thought he actually got more aggressive in pick and rolls and double teaming as the series went on. But yeah, he was. Hill became a little bit more aggressive. Anthony Davis wasn't, asking a lot for him to be able to do that and carry the team on the other end as well. But I thought Mirotic really took away angles, didn't allow penetration, and part of it with Dame and CJ was that it wasn't that they were necessarily trapping, but they were walling them up where they had nowhere to go. And like I said, it seemed like as the series went on, they became more aggressive with that concept.
Jared, two-part question. First of all, other than the loss in the series, what about the way it went disappointed you most?
Well, not being able to close out 2 home games probably is, being down 1 with a minute to go in game 1, being down 2 with 2 minutes to go in game 2. You'd like to think that in those situations that you can close out a game, and in that event, that changes the tenor of the whole series. But we weren't able to close those 2 out, which changed the dynamics coming here, obviously.
And secondly, what do you think your team needs to be among that top tier of teams in the NBA right now?
Well, I think it's a little too early to talk about that. It's always, I think it's tough to evaluate right after a playoff loss. We had a good regular season. We did a lot of positive things in the regular season, but ultimately you're defined by the postseason. So I think it's a little early right now to say what direction we're going to go and what needs to be done moving forward. But the one thing is Neil's really good. He's we've been in the playoffs 5 straight years, and he continues to change and build the roster. So I'm pretty confident with that.